Hey, it's Jason ODB, also known as the Lincoln Addict, and want to hit you guys with another quick video to highlight one of these items that I recently picked up. Hopefully, with this little light that I've got on my gimbal setup, you guys can see this. But this is an item, I try to pick up any stuff that I can find that's maybe rare or something I've never seen when it comes to a Lincoln. And this one does have a name on the top, Thomas Reed, written in there. And it's a pamphlet for any accessories or optional equipment, as you can see here, for the 65 Lincoln. Now, I did a video recently which was a mashup between an old school Lincoln promo video and kind of a couple of old promotional videos. And I mashed them up. One had audio, one didn't. And a lot of these things are also listed in there. I think all of these things are, rather. And this is all for all the Lincoln addicts out there that dig this stuff as much as I do. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Make sure you check out Lincoln Addict Podcast via most podcast apps. So here you got air conditioner. That was technically an add-on feature, an accessory. And it's a nice one to have if you live in the South. Here you have tinted glass. The option is required for air conditioner. So you can kind of see what it says there. I've had people that have asked for non-tinted glass, and you'll sometimes see someone that's building a high-end car and they want the non-tinted glass. If you see the tinted glass, that's 99 out of 100 times that's an AC car, as far as everything that I've ever seen. And again, you could have someone, I know Weld County Customs in Texas, they built an awesome car, and they wanted non-tinted glass for it, if I recall correctly. Individually adjustable contour seats and console, also known as what we always say, bucket seats. 64 was the first year, technically, and 65, of course, had that. Vertically adjustable steering column. This is something I have in the 65. I have the numbers, I think it was 27% of the cars in 64 came with it, but I need to look back and see what 65 was. Here you have the AM/FM radio. So I was explaining to my friend's son today, a younger kid, 15, 16 years old, is mind blown that they pretty much had AM radios back then. Automatic headlamp dimmer. And I've heard people call this different things, but just know it's on the dash right there. And in 65 at least. I believe the same company that made them for Ford made them for Chevy. Sometimes you'll hear them called the optical eye. Speed control. This is a cool feature to me. Basically cruise control. You can kind of see what it says there. I think this light is kind of dying out some. But if you'll see it to the left of the key, and you've got the dial. It did change kind of each year. I was looking at Chris Dunn's 62 earlier. And of course, it's totally different in those years, but that feature did kind of change. Now, on the last episode of the podcast, I talked about 1965 Lincoln Continentals because it was the anniversary of when they were introduced. And I talked about one of the rarest features that I've ever seen is the emergency flashers, also known as hazard lights. There is a plug-and-play harness that will just turn that on with the hazard setup. Remote control deck lid release. This was for sedans only, and that was so you could pop the trunk. Of course, it's not the same on convertibles. Here we get into some features that you may not think about. So leather trim was technically an option. Door panels. So you had this kind of wood grain material. Black padded instrument panel. At no extra cost, you may select the option to have the color key padded instrument panel. Black is preferred by many owners. It reduces the glare. So we've seen this even in the mini truck scene. Early 2000s, a lot of guys were taking their dash out and they were painting them. They looked fantastic, doing graphics, all sorts of things, but you end up with a bunch of glare. And that's another reason why, like with a lot of the stainless here, my understanding is a lot of that stuff has went away over the course of time because from a safety standpoint, you have all kinds of reflections and stuff. But in my 65, it's red. In the 64, I think it's the dark blue. Kind of looks black. But, there you have it. So this is kind of cool. The floor mats. I had a set. I'll show you a second. I had a set of floor mats. These rubber, or the vinyl twin front and rear for my 67. Should have never sold them. But you can kind of see here the rubber. And these are reproduced. I believe I have one for my 64 that's blue. Believe it or not, something like that's kind of rare. Now this is something, I don't know if you guys could chime in, litter basket. I've seen these, of course, like tissue dispensers and things like that in the Cadillacs. I have personally never seen what appears to be part number 19D504. I've never seen one of these in a Lincoln. I don't know if it, if they just got tossed or what. Locking gas cap. You can still find those. Door edge guards. So you'll sometimes kind of see these. I think the 65 I have, yeah, it has these down here. Safety seat belts, believe it or not, in 65, the rear was an option. The 65 that I have has 65 rear seat belts from another car. It was an option, and it's hard to believe that safety, even in the 60s, was basically an option. Luggage carrier. Now, I'd love to see one of these. I'd love to own one. Again, I apologize. It's getting a little dark here, but you'll see these, of course, all the time for other cars of the era. But here you have the stylish luggage carrier. Ski carrier. Directed power differential. Transistorized ignition. Additional fine accessories. And on the back, personalized car. So there you have it. If you want to check out more stuff that I do, Lincoln Addict podcast is, of course, one that I occasionally do. But ourlifestylepodcast.com, which is also known as OLP, Our Lifestyle Podcast, short is OLP. We have a lot of different merch, including these metal signs. And this is Back to the Future DeLorean. Real lightweight aluminum. It's printed right on there. ourlifestylepodcast.com or OLP via any podcast app. So there you have it. Something that's kind of cool. Again, it's a little dark in here, so my apologies. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Leave a thumbs up. Leave a comment. 65s. Many people love that year, and I don't disagree at all. All right, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Take care.